Hey everyone, it's Jen Sofa. It's Zach here with Chris.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
Chilling.
Yeah. So today we got our good friend Billy as a guest. It's been a while since we've seen Billy.
Baby Billington.
Billy Billington less than Zane. But as
Equal
you
to.
say to that, you possibly think he's equal. But it's been a while. He joins us today for this episode. It's actually going to be a first part of a two-parter. And we're going to discuss his favorite show, which is South Park.
South Park.
So, without further ado, let's just get into it.
All right, guys, here we are again. We actually have Billy in the building. Billy in the building.
Billy.
I'd say
Guys.
Billy equal to Zane.
Has he reached that status? Is he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think I've heard
I've been
it before
saying
from
it
you.
since,
Like,
like...
you believe so?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, what's your case?
When you said it. It has been said before.
You're the authority figure on
Yeah, on
Billy's
equal to
Zanian
Zane.
qualities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, today I said, Billy, you brought us a drink. We're not making you a drink.
We did. Yes,
Yeah,
actually,
so,
bartender Carlita's in the building as well.
Yeah,
And she's
somewhere here. I can't.
yeah,
I don't
she's
know
somewhere. Where is she? Oh,
Hello, hello. She's back there somewhere. What we do now, I don't know if we did this last time you were here because it was like November-ish when you were here. It's a long time ago. We're now trying, well, I don't know if you caught up the date on the episodes, but we try the drinks and like right as on screen. Not on
Yeah.
screen, but on mic.
Get
Okay.
your initial reaction.
The initial
I see,
reaction
gotcha.
and stuff like that. That's why I didn't try any of it yet, because I think it's kind of more of it's funner. It's like an initial. You might get that pucker face. You might get that like,
Of course.
So if you guys would like to imbibe,
Yeah.
I will as well.
Okay.
But
Sounds great.
and then we'll talk about
And
it.
then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. First reaction is it's orange. It smells orangey. Now, do you smell food before you eat it? We
I
talked
do.
about this the other
Yes,
day.
I like to incorporate multiple senses when I eat or drink.
You're right there, Chris.
Yeah.
A little spillage.
Well, the
Is it orange?
rim. What do you call it? What, that's not a garnish. It's
That's a rim.
Oh, it's
Just-
a rim.
yeah,
It's
just
a chocolate rim, if you know.
Chocolate
what I mean.
rim. there
because
we go.
it's
my favorite
It's
kind
well
of rim.
crumbled, but because it's crumbled,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like you take like a couple. Yeah,
Kind of.
it can fall off on you.
I got chocolate on my pants.
You did allude to this. It is orange. Billy, do you want to tell us why?
Absolutely.
It's orange?
Well, as we're been discussing about
Doo-doo stain on my... I'll just vacuum after this. No dogs allowed. Sorry. Go ahead, Billy.
our drink is titled, coined to one of my favorite cartoon shows, South Park. It's "Oh My God, You Drank Kenny."
Ooh.
You drink. That sounds a bit
Yes.
Yeah.
sexual.
So we got the. I can break it down first. I'll break down the ingredients
break it
for
down.
it.
Break it down.
We have
Break it
Tanqueray orange. We have some cream de cocoa, and a little bit
I like
of
to
homemade
pronounce it
simple syrup.
cacao.
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 I don't know if that's right, but I like to say it that way.
That's how we
Cream
like
de
to say it.
cacao.
Yeah.
Cacao.
All
And
right,
then
so
it's
orange.
garnished with an orange wedge as well as orange chocolate shavings on the rim.
I think I saw you throwing some bitters in there.
We did top it
Yeah,
off
yeah.
just a couple
What kind of bitters?
dashes. Orange bitters.
Orange
Okay.
bitters. They wanted the orange to really.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it makes
Chocolate
sense.
orange. This is like a
Did
Terry.
you use the one we have?
Yes.
Did
yes.
you use the regular? Or did you use all the bitter?
I think it was just the regular orange. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just asking
Of
questions.
course. Yeah.
Assuming.
Yeah.
So you guys remember
What
that
is your
video?
initial thought?
Remember that internet video? I see you asking questions, assuming. No, probably not.
Nah,
I'll show you later.
All right. What are the initial reactions?
Orangey.
Yeah.
Almost makes me feel like it has curacao in it.
Really?
Because it's
Okay.
curacao is orange liqueur. So it's got that big, heavy, oily, orange oil taste.
So what is blue curacao?
It's dyed blue.
Dyed blue.
But it's still just orange
Yeah,
tasting?
it's just orange. And they dyed it blue just so they can make tropical drinks with it and shit.
Yeah.
Like, no shit.
Wow.
It's a facade.
Yeah.
My life
You just
is
blew
wrong.
my mind,
They
man.
didn't
Motorcycle,
dye it
fuck
blue,
you.
they dyed it blue.
Well, like orange motorcycle.
Yeah. That seems unnecessary then.
It is very unnecessary.
Yeah.
I think it's good. I mean,
Yeah. I agree. I get an orange on I get a very boozy drink. I do.
It
taste,
is very
I
boozy.
taste the alcohol, but I get the orange, and then when I do the chocolate, like I said earlier, I think it's like a Terry's chocolate orange.
it is, which I know you like. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Candyman
Oh yeah,
that you made.
yeah, with the rim.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I will
Anyway.
say producer Brandy tried it, and she said the chocolate was a necessity with it. So that's why
Necessity.
we added a little bit of extra on the rim.
Honestly,
Did she
I've
say
taken
what?
a
With
couple
it.
more sips without the chocolate rim, and I'd be okay. Like I would
Yeah,
have been okay without
I think
the
so
chocolate.
too.
Yeah,
You know
I mean
what?
it's good with the
I
chocolate.
have an
rim, don't get me
idea.
wrong.
I mean, this is just based on the fact that it's kind of messy with the shavings.
Mhm.
If it was just on top,
So we tried that too.
Did it go in
was
the bottom?
floating on top,
Yeah.
and it seemed like it was a inconsistent amount going in. It kind of got mushy. It kinda-
I guess then
yeah,
you'd run
yeah.
into having to do like an egg white foam just to keep it on top. But or like, what if you did like a zest of the chocolate so it was kind of powdery?
Oh, there's that too. I was thinking maybe a cocoa powder, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd be afraid of mix.
Yeah.
You know, and then but
Well-
that's just pure in the fact that it's
So
the
the
mess. But
the idea with the shavings, if I may,
no, yeah. What's the inspiration?
the
behind
inspiration
this
was from
drink?
the episode called Ladder to Heaven, and that's where Kenny dies, and dies for real.
Dies for real.
His parents cremate him, and the boys, mourning through everything, end up in a candy contest, and they end up winning the candy contest, but they need the ticket stub. But Kenny has the ticket stub on him. He puts it in his pocket before they win.
Yeah.
And because he dies, he gets cremated. It must be in the cremation. But the boys don't know what cremation is. So they go over his house and say, we need to find Kenny. He has the ticket. And his parents show them the urn. And later that night, they go and steal the urn and try to get Kenny out of the urn. And they find out it's just dust. But Cartman believes it's chocolate milk mints.
Yeah, all we are is
So what he
Dust
does
in the
is
Dust in the
he,
wind.
in turn, takes the ashes and puts them in milk and then drinks them. So we have an ode to the episode by having the shavings to be like the ashes
Yeah.
for Kenny.
The chocolate for the reference for why the kids drank him to begin with, and then the Kenny itself.
yeah. I
The
was gonna
candy
ask
color,
another
yes.
question. You said it was orange chocolate.
Yes, it was.
So how did you do that?
it was just
You bought
yeah, we
orange
bought
chocolate.
orange chocolate.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Lint,
I didn't know if you had
70%.
made
our own.
homemade. Yeah,
Well, you guys are.
I was just asking.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah. We
If
ended up-
anybody would have made their own orange chocolate, I believe it would have been
You guys made it.
you and bartender Carlita.
So it's. You want to go over the ingredients again?
sure.
So
Tanqueray orange.
Tanqueray Sevilla orange,
hmm
which of course, we always forget to bring the bottle in here.
Yeah.
Bummer. It's all right. Usually have the bottle in like.
Oh, do you show it?
but I think we miss every other episode. It's pretty good. We're pretty
Yeah.
Well, if you
consistent.
check out the Instagram, you'll see a picture of all the
That's true.
ingredients out there.
Yeah. At Gin and Sofa Pot.
James of Pot. Yeah. So we got Sevilla, Tanqueray,
Mm-hmm. And then
Hard
we
Q.
cream de cocoa or cacao,
Yep.
depending on your preference. of pronunciation.
Depending on your pronunciations.
Homemade simple syrup.
Is it just regular simple syrup?
Yep, sugar and water.
Alright.
Heat it up.
Excusez-moi.
2 dashes of bitters. Squeeze of a little orange peel. And then we use that for the garnish. And then the chocolate shavings for the rim.
So when you use to squeeze the orange peel, did you put it on the rim or you just put it in?
So yeah, so in order for the shavings to attach, yes, you can.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
actually a
you
good
can-
trick
you
for
can- a little
bartenders.
wetness.
Mhm. It helps stick to it.
Wetness and sticky.
You gotta wet the rim
Mm-hmm.
before you put chocolate on it. So, yeah, I think it's good. It's very boozy. I think Dino
Yeah.
will love it.
I think
He's a big booze guy.
the thing too, I think we mentioned this off camera when you were making it, but it's a Kenny orange.
Thank you.
That's
It is
that's
Kenny
a hard orange to hit. And that's a Kenny orange.
Yes, that was
It's
Carly.
it's
She
almost
was
like my
working on the
chair's kinda Kenny
ratio.
orangish.
Oh yeah.
A little bit, actually. Looking at that, it's kind of
yeah.
Kenny orangish.
It's late season Kenny
So if
orange.
you had to give it, yeah, little, it's in the dusk.
Yeah.
So if you had to grade it, we're going to cocktail scale.
Yeah,
time.
going to the cocktail scale, going to the
Fantastic.
scale.
Going to the cocktail scale. You made it. Honors.
Honors of first rate.
First rate, like it affects my rank.
I would do a 3. I would order one more round.
Well, that's
Okay.
not, no. It says
The
another
scale,
round.
right?
It doesn't say one more.
Or order another round. Yeah.
And then
I would-
after that, you gotta get another one.
Oh, you
And
keep
then you gotta
order.
get- no, I'm
you
just
keep-
kidding.
I would
Endless-
order another round of
It's
it.
actually
yeah.
a loophole. It's an endless cycle of drinks.
Here, that's a good rating, a strong 3. Here's my question for you though. I want to rate it a 3 because I would order this again.
Mhm.
But here's the problem. I'd be like, can I get it without the rim? Not that the rim was bad. I'm just not a chocolate guy typically.
Right.
And I think the drink was solid enough that I would have just kept drinking it. Because it already had the chocolate kind of in it. Anyway, does that automatically bump my rating down to a 2?
Because you're altering it.
Yeah, I'm ordering another round, but I've altered an ingredient.
It's not
I
the
think
same.
it shouldn't.
So
It's a different drink.
that's why I think on the rim helps. Because just like with
I
the
didn't have to-
margarita,
oh, yeah,
you get as much
If they were
salt
like,
as
you know
want.
what, we actually have to give it to. We pre-rim our glasses for this drink. I'd be like, all right, fine, I'll
We're in
still
the
take
back.
another rim.
So we got a guy back there rimming glasses
Yeah.
all night.
Yeah.
All right. Respect his job, please. Get the rim. I think. Oh boy. I think it's It's honestly, I think it's gonna be a 2 for me.
Okay.
Mostly because it's
too.
boozy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, I finished it, but if I get more, I might not make it to
Done.
the end of the night. You know, like that kind of
You'll
thing.
be like Kenny. You'll be dead.
Yeah, I'll be dead. You know, so like, there's only so many. It's like having martinis all night. You can't,
Yeah.
you can't be doing that.
Well, it is. I guess it is an ode to a martini.
But
as
you know,
well.
that's my only really complaint is that it's just woo, you know, like
Yeah.
you
I
drink
mean, it
a
makes
lot.
sense.
And you know, I also whatever that was, tend to lean towards like soda, like carbonated
Yeah.
light
Like it was very still.
Yeah,
Like
very-
yeah.
in your fucking
Yeah,
gullet.
yeah.
So I mean,
That makes sense, yeah.
2.
3-3-2. That's solid.
2
Two sounds like
bad.
obviously
Yeah.
we all drink.
Yeah.
Like,
2 sounds
actually,
bad, but
Billy,
it's
you're
not.
the one that has drank the least.
I know. Well, because I had a couple.
I had a theory that sometimes when you drink your drinks really quick, it's a 1.
That's true.
Because sometimes you just power through
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I
that
saw
is
you
true.
chugging it, I was like, Chris does not like this drink. I could just tell.
I
My
think-
dude is not having it.
I honestly I thought it was kind of good. Like with just like I could still get the chocolate without having to eat the rim.
Oh yeah, it does have the cocoa in there.
Yeah.
Chris,
so
did you just say, eat the rim?
I did. I guess lick the rim.
I think they're synonyms.
Yeah.
I believe.
But yeah, I think
Whatever
332.
floats your boat.
Was that 2.67?
332?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
that's
I'll take it.
I think that's respectable.
What's 223? 233. So
Yeah,
267 puts it above
Puts it right at CTC level.
CTC level, which is about right. I liked
Yeah,
CTC,
yeah.
and I know you didn't like that one because it was milk.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like for me, I think it belongs right with it though, where it's like a drink that had some divided opinion.
Yeah, I think when you look at the list, it's like things that are 2 and below are the ones where you don't really want to ever drink it.
Yeah, you don't want to go there. But these are the like I think anything above a 2.67 is a drink I would tell fans worth checking out. And this is definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. So check it out.
There we
Go
go.
make it.
Thank you.
Well, we are
Yeah.
here today.
We are here today. We're sitting here.
And with like we said, Billy. And I think you alluded to it because we talked about the drink, but what we're here to talk about is South Park, because if I'm not mistaken, this is your favorite. You made a comment where you said favorite comedy show, which almost made me want to be like, so it's not your favorite
Not your
show.
favorite show, just favorite comedy show.
Did I say comedy show?
You did.
Interesting.
You added
Okay.
that I noted that qualifier. The
Okay.
tape will reveal.
Run it back, run it back.
Interesting.
No, but I would have thought this was your
Not gonna
favorite
rebut that,
overall
but-
show.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Say
I
no?
would have thought.
So is it or no?
I would say definitely favorite comedy. I wouldn't say favorite show of all time, but it's definitely one
all
I can always go to.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
definitely a go to. It's on. I'm gonna watch it, no matter what
Okay.
episode it is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the reason why we wanted to talk it with you, is because this is more
Yeah.
like you really like this. It's like talking 90s with
yeah.
Potozic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like talking other stuff with Duhamel. Everything else.
Everything else. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I actually
And you're here for just South Park.
I ended up getting into South Park because on New Year's Eve, Comedy Central does a South Park marathon, similar to Twilight Zone marathon.
Really?
So,
Like every New
yeah.
Year's Eve is a. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
Huh.
Every
How long have they
Thanks-
been
every
doing that?
Thanksgiving is James Bond.
Really?
is
Just,
it
just saying.
okay?
Oh.
If you guys want to watch.
Just like TBS Christmas is Christmas
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was. My dad would always watch Twilight Zone, and I would try to find something else, and then it ended up being South Park. So, but yeah, it's on.
I
all
always
day.
go back to South Park.
Mm-hmm.
It always goes
All
back.
reliable is what I like to
Okay.
call it.
Yeah.
And you were hooked instantly?
Yes, I think it was like 90, 98, 99.
Wow.
It's
You're
when I
like
started
5 years
watching.
old, dude?
Yeah.
He was like, this is my shit.
I can relate to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Right
it was,
on.
Well, what I liked about it was just more, obviously edgy. They always
Yeah,
try
yeah.
to push the button, but
Mhm.
and I mean being in 7,
Yeah.
8 years old, it's just potty mouth and just
Yeah.
cool stuff,
Like they definitely pushed boundaries like from the beginning. And you said you
Yeah.
knew you had some you had some interesting like history about the
Oh, yeah.
actual show.
So-
So I'm interested. Like, what would you say if there's one thing you could tell someone about like how the show was made, or you know what I mean, like one interesting historical fact about South Park?
I would say because it's made in about 6 days each episode.
Yeah.
They did do a documentary about it. If you want to take a look, it is 6 days to air. For
Is that a Netflix one? I can't remember. I think it is.
I think it was Comedy Central.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Comedy
you
Central
can find it
special.
on for comedycentral.com, I think.
Okay.
But
YouTube, probably.
I thought that was
when you're
the
done with
most-
the Jen and Sophie YouTube channel, you can just hop over
There we go.
to Comedy Central. Yeah.
Did you know that? Like, did people know? I feel like I
No,
didn't know that
I
until
didn't.
that.
I
they
watched
made
that
it.
special.
But I mean, like, I didn't know that they did that
Oh,
until
until
that.
then?
Yeah, I was
Yeah, I
like,
didn't
damn,
know
I
that.
guess.
I think
true.
that's what made it more special for me. Was
Yeah.
the fact that it was so off the cuff and the fact that they take their product so seriously that they're upset with it at the end, that they feel like they could do more, even though
Yeah.
the episode is fantastic, just shows that they crave to make it better each time
Yeah.
afterwards.
That's what you want.
But I think what's funny in that documentary is when the editor calls the TV station, like Comedy Central, and they're like, "Hey, there's gonna be a lot of shit going on in this episode." And they're like, and then the lady has to actually say what's happening,
Uh
and they're like, "Is it okay, if they shit in their mouth?"
huh.
And she's on the phone. They're like, "I don't know if shit will be present, but that will be happening." So it's like that awkward conversation.
Yeah.
And you're trying to imagine
Like the
being on the other end of the
legal-
line.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
you're just
are
a
you
regular-
allowed to show this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like a very legal kind of conversation about pooping in mouths.
Exactly, and you're trying to find the context, and it's just somebody who happened to answer the phone.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
random maybe
You don't-
intern or
you-
something.
I feel like they probably have someone hired at Comedy Central that's like the South Park liaison.
Yeah.
You are the person that answers the calls from South Park every week because
Yeah.
no one else wants to hear their pitch.
Well, it's funny
You know,
because
like
most
Yeah.
has gotten through, and we're like, how the hell did that get through? But they did have 2 episodes that were banned.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 200 and 201.
Were those the ones I believe that showed Muhammad? Is that the reason that they were banned?
I believe so. Yeah, and then it was also because of all the outrage, because all the celebrities were made fun of, like all in one episode. They all come in to try to take over South Park. It's crazy.
Oh. And those were the banned episodes?
Yeah.
Ah.
People get
Yeah,
I don't
interesting.
get it. People get mad about some weird shit.
Considering what they've made fun of, the fact
Sure.
that those are the ones that were.
Yeah. I feel like
Cut.
I've seen episodes that I feel like this probably should have been banned.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
not right.
No, but not in like a, just it is kind of crazy that they can make, like, that's how they stay so relevant. Versus, like, I think some shows, especially the longer they go, they just are like, they get really entrenched in like characters, and more because they do it so like 7 days to air. It's like more about how will these characters react to this specific thing that everyone's talking about right now.
Exactly.
You know what I
think
mean?
Think about how like the present day like news cycle, everything changes. It's 24
Yeah,
hours,
yeah.
something's happening. So if you start doing something that's relevant and then you take 6 months to make an episode,
Yeah,
that's not even.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, it's
things that
dated.
change over 3 times
Yeah,
by that
yeah.
point, or something
yeah
may have
it's
changed
kind of
to
like
prove
when
it
everything
false.
came out after COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's got like masks and stuff, but it was already like after everything was pretty much like
Yeah,
passed
yeah.
over. So like, all right,
Well, it's funny. There was an actual episode. It was about last night, and it was about Obama McCain being the presidential election.
Uh-huh.
They made 2 episodes, so that on Wednesday after election night, it
whoever
could be the
won.
right episode.
Oh. I mean, that's like you said earlier. It kind of goes to show how seriously they take
Yeah.
their craft. That they'd be willing to be like, well, one of these isn't going to be shown, so it's like a waste of effort.
Yeah.
But
It's crazy because you could have got out of it. You could have had him wake up at the end of the episode. It was a dream. This didn't really happen. It
You know,
was
it's funny about that
You know,
because
true.
I think Family Guy falls on that too much.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of episodes I've seen where like
Fake
something
outs?
happens and then Stewie is just in a
dream.
in a generator.
I
where-
hate
Yeah.
Family Guy. I don't. It just
That's what got me off of Family Guy.
that's when
South
the-
Park got you off of Family Guy.
No.
Yeah,
Oh.
No,
getting
that,
off.
that kind of
I
thing
use
where,
heroin to
get off
where they
cocaine.
wake up or
It's
they're
okay.
in a simulation. And he goes, "Wow, that was weird." And you're like, "Well, that was a waste of 3 episodes."
Yeah.
I was laughing at not real shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not this cartoon dog talking.
It is interesting though. Speaking of cartoon, I remember when Family Guy did Brian died, whereas South Park has Kenny who dies every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of an interesting dichotomy.
Yes, when Brian died in Family
Go
Guy,
into that.
Yeah,
I wasn't happy about that when they got rid of
yeah, that
got rid
was
of Brian.
that
Is
was
he
ki-
still
Because
gone?
they ended up they tried it out for I think it was 3 or 4 episodes. He was gone, and then wouldn't you know, Stewie builds a time machine and goes back and saves Brian, and then all of that was for nothing.
yeah.
So it is the fallback plan. You know, let's see what happens if we get rid of try to
Yeah,
keep
like
him
did
relevant.
everyone get like the ratings drop off significantly? Okay, I guess let's bring him back.
Yeah.
And that, I know Family Guy. They make American Dad, Cleveland Show,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that, and it's a similar kind of structure. It's the family, which is funny about South Park. South Park originally went to Fox to get put on the air.
To be South Park.
Yeah, and they
interesting.
said, no, we want something more family oriented because they had The Simpsons going at that point,
And they chose Family Guy.
and they ended up going with Family Guy.
Huh. I didn't realize those shows started around the same, or like could have been pitched around the same time.
I think Family Guy
Family Guy's
started
a
in
little later.
'99. I'm sorry.
I think Family Guy's a little later. But
Well, I
then
know it
again,
got-
I think Family Guy started and it failed.
It had
Oh.
3 seasons and was cut by Fox,
And then it went to
came back.
Adult Swim
And
and
became
became popular and they picked it back up.
interesting.
So like I bet that's why it seems a lot later than it was. 'cause
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
downtime.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I remember an interview with Matt Stone and Trey Parker, and they were talking about how the first, I think they want to say 1 through 4 or 1 through 5 seasons they try to forget about, but they didn't actually do. They're like, we don't consider that real. And they considered after, like, I can't remember what point it was, but there's a point where they're like, now we've figured out how to make this show.
I know they talked about they hated the animation.
Well, it
Because,
was
one,
mostly.
it took forever. 'cause
If
it
you
was,
find the interview, it was they hate the animation, but they also just hated the subjects.
Mhm.
And you can tell if you watch when it starts becoming more of current events.
Mhm.
This 6-day rotation thing, you can tell when they
Yeah.
like can have episodes of something that happened last weekend.
Yeah.
And I think they're saying that once they figured that formula out, they really enjoyed making the show a lot more.
Mhm.
And I think everything from like season 1 to 4 is like crap. And I was curious on your thoughts. Do you have seasons? Because I feel like they're kind of eras. They're like
yes, I would say the Renaissance era of South Park is the birth of the actual current events going on right away.
Okay.
Because a lot of it was satirical. It was a lot of making fun of certain situations. But yes, I would say probably season 6 and up until season 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long window of being.
It is. Well, there was,
prime
it's
South
funny
Park.
because Carly and I were going through it, and
Bartender Carlita.
bartender Carlita, yes, and she went episode by episode with me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
asked me, is it a good episode to talk about or is it not?
Sure.
And it's funny because seasons 1 through 4, let's say, didn't have that many. Meanwhile, season 6, all the way to about, I guess, 17, had about
17.
5 or
Yes.
6 episodes per season that I
Right
really,
on.
really enjoyed.
Yeah.
When was the ending? Like to you, you're saying towards like 17 and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like, and then
I think it was when they decided to really, because South Park's famous for a couple, and I know we were talking about this the other day, chronological episodes. Where
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
2 or 3 that kind of mesh together.
yeah,
When the entire season became a storyline, where
Yeah.
I can't just pop on an episode. Like if I pop
Yeah,
in
yeah.
season 22, or season 21, I pop on episode 4, I have no clue what's going on.
the jokes run through the whole
Exactly.
season. Yeah,
You're like, who's this guy? And it's, a new character was actually put in episode 1. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, he actually has a part in this now.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
That makes sense.
That's kind of like, what was that? Like you said, Integrity Farms,
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Yeah, that was
Era.
episode.
See, I like Integrity Farms.
Prince-
That's actually what kind of ignited it back for me. was
PC
Integrity
Principle.
And
was
then the whole
kind of a-
thing with Mr. Garrison becoming Donald Trump.
I don't even see. I haven't got
Oh, you
that.
didn't? Oh my
No.
goodness! So it's actually really, really funny. It's.
Oh, I remember this now.
It is funny if
yeah,
you
'cause
watch.
he's with Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah,
Ah.
Caitlyn Jenner runs as his vice president, and he wins. And he can't believe that he won. Just
Yeah.
he says all this outlandish stuff. It's pretty much 2016 over.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like I said, you have to really, if you're going to commit, watch that season from start to finish in order to actually enjoy it and think that it's funny.
Yeah, the entire season.
Yeah.
Of
Whereas
it. Yeah,
random Wednesday night, you'd go into South Park. All right, what do they got going on? And oh
That
my
is
goodness, Cartman woke up because he's upset that the Chinese are taking over, and he takes over a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, Comedy Central at 10 p.m. I think would just show a South. Like that's how I used to watch South Park. And it wasn't until like it was on streaming that I ever sat down and watched more than just that. And I think that there was a clear time in my life where I was like going through a lot of South Park and I was like, man, these dudes are really, really funny. But I can't remember where I hit a line where I was like,
Right.
something about this isn't.
Funny anymore?
Yeah, like I
It's
could still
okay.
watch a season 7 episode maybe and laugh.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like a season, and maybe it's after, what'd you say, 16, 17?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a season 18 episode
yeah.
where I just don't
think-
laugh.
Yeah,
I
there's-
think
there's
mine
a-
was around PC Principle, Integrity Farms, and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like when it started, the Whole Foods and stuff moving in.
Soda Sopa.
Like all that stuff, I think when they started doing all that kind of stuff, it just
Yeah.
didn't land as much for me. I mean, there were some Whole Foods episodes where he was like, "Oh, you don't want to donate
You don't
to
wanna
starving
donate.
children. You got to say in this microphone,
Yeah.
you know, like that you don't want to donate to starving
Yeah, have
children."
you ever been in that situation where, like, would you like to round up for charity?
Oh,
For
yeah.
It's
I
like
know the
70
episode.
cents.
Yeah.
But in this case, the person
I know.
actually looks at you and goes,
Billy,
"So you'd rather?"
we've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't even know how late. Like to me, I think I remember. Like it is interesting because like I can remember scenes like that.
Yeah,
But I'm thinking back and I'm like, wait, I don't know when that was. Like to me, that feels like it was good enough to be in the early episodes. But is that like late South Park?
I would say it's a little later.
yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
too late. I think it was right before, like I said, the whole thing where they switched to Mr. Garrison being president.
I'd be interested, Billy, in your take because like I think both Zach and I would have a hard time verbalizing this in terms of like like we haven't watched a lot of the old seasons in the same way you have.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to your favorite, but I want to get to what is your if you were like don't watch this this is an episode if it was like playing randomly in a hotel you wouldn't even watch it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, turn off my favorite show because
You
that
want his
episode.
worst
Yeah.
episodes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll,
Funny
well,
Bot.
like 1 or 2.
Funny Bot, 100%.
Funny Bot?
Yeah.
Do I know
Is it
that?
Awesomeo?
No. So that's a good episode.
That's like Awesomeo.
So,
I like
Funny
Awesomeo.
Bot's an episode where Jimmy is like
Oh,
is going against this like computer robot that tells jokes.
Yeah, I like
and it's
Funny
just
Bot.
so annoying. I can't stand it.
And
'Cause
then they bury him.
I do like Jimmy, but I like Jimmy when he's involved with everybody. When it's a Jimmy-owned episode, it's like, and that was pretty much like a Jimmy episode, and it did not like.
But do you
it
like
whatsoever.
Timmy-focused episodes?
Is there
Like,
something
when-
wrong with Jimmy that you don't like?
I'm sorry. Well, no, he's just
Something
he's
wrong?
a secondary character.
Yeah,
that
you
just
like
adds-
him to be. It'd be like focusing on like a random character you didn't like all that.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because there are a couple like I would say somewhat secondary. Like Butters has his own episode, and that's a great episode. Or the Goth Kids, they have their own episode, but there's a little bit more to it. I just didn't think Funny Bot was that great of a show.
Okay.
Funny Bot.
Do you have one that you
I
you
am
would
Funny
say,
Bot.
you would say is like this is one of my least favorite ones?
Least favorite. Jeez.
Because like I do feel like you and I think the ones that I'm
it's
thinking
hard,
about are
though,
like
because I just remember things that I liked, I guess.
yeah. You remembered also or Funny Bot.
I remember Funny Bot. I remember Randy eating an Impossible Whopper, Integrity Farms or something, and I was just like, whatever. You know, like, but I don't know. I think I had to watch like all of them again and like figure out what the hell one sucks.
Yeah. What did you think of the South Park movie?
The movie?
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I did see it.
Yeah. I feel like we were too young to see it, but I remember
We
seeing
were
it.
definitely too young to
Yeah.
see it, but I remember seeing it.
Did you see it like when it came out?
No, so I saw it a little later on.
Okay.
At
I
least
just
where
remember
could
Kenny seeing
recollect that
boobs.
I had seen it.
Yeah.
That's all I remember was Kenny seeing boobs.
Yeah.
At the end. That's all I remember, and I was like, oh yeah.
I remember the devil and Saddam Hussein
Yeah.
like being in bed. Like there was just a lot of jokes that like as a kid I was like, I don't get
Well,
that.
that movie did spawn a good song.
Which one?
Kyle's mom's a bitch.
Was it a movie?
Yeah,
Did you ever play any of the games? I know you said I heard
I
you tell
played
me.
Stick of Truth. Yeah,
Okay,
and I
you know,
really like
I
that.
used to play South Park on 64 a lot.
Oh,
They had a
okay.
game on 64.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had one on 64.
Whoa.
That was it was like a first person shooter.
No way.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Was it just called like South Park?
Yeah.
Oh.
And like every level was like an episode. Like so there was one where like turkeys were everywhere. There's one where the aliens were coming and
I think
Yeah.
I'm remembering this.
and then you could but then you also the best part about it was you get multiplayer, like GoldenEye style, you know.
Nice.
And it was 4-player and you had these crazy ass weapons and shit, like Nerf
So
guns.
who were you though in the game? Were you just
You pick your character.
okay?
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything different about him,
Mhm.
you know. But like
Yeah.
when you played multiplayer, you'd be like Cartman or Kyle, whatever.
Okay.
And I just remember one of the weapons was like Terrence and Phillip dolls,
Nice.
and they were like mines, yeah, not
Yeah.
grenades. One was like a grenade, one went off, farted immediately, like gas grenade, right? And the other one was like if you would stick to a wall, and if someone walked past, it'd fart. And you're like, right? And the best part was like if you put in a code, it was like unlimited ammo. You could line a whole fucking room up with I can't remember which one it was. Terrence maybe
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the one that was like a proximity mine. You line a whole house up with Terrence dolls, right? And it was
Nice.
just like so much fart, and you're like got him, and you're like
Got
oh
him.
shit. It was fun though because I was
Yeah.
like 10 years old farting on
Yeah,
Coop.
I actually had Stick of Truth underway. I would play it in the lounge,
Oh.
and then everybody started watching it. It was really cool.
Yeah, I never
Yeah.
played that or the fractured butthole.
The fractured butthole.
Did you play that one?
I did. I never finished it,
I
unfortunately.
even like got it because it came with Stick of Truth free, and I just never played it.
Am I making this up or did they have like a kart racer?
Mm-hmm.
They did?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
South Park Racing.
Yeah.
The cover had Cartman as a cop. I
Yeah.
remember that. Respect
Was
My
it a
Authority.
GameCube game?
That was just- I think 64.
Oh, it was 64?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like we were alluding to, like
Remember
they
it.
like to push things and
Yeah,
like, be
yeah,
a little
yeah.
controversial. In the Stick of Truth, I don't know if have you ever played it.
I honestly haven't.
So when you create your player, it says difficulty. Would you like to play easy or very hard? But when you change difficulty, the skin color of your character changes from light.
Oh.
So if you were,
That-
so if you were,
Yeah, yeah.
your life is harder.
Yeah, yeah.
if you do it that way.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, that is interesting.
But
That is very.
I cannot confirm or deny.
Interesting.
Cannot confirm or deny if it is actually harder or if it's just a joke. But
Interesting.
If the game you play is any harder.
No, yeah. I mean, that, like you said, that alluding to like them liking to push buttons. That's certainly.
That certainly sounds
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah.
I have an idea. I'd be kind of
yeah.
interested. I was gonna tell you one of my favorite episodes.
Please.
And I'd be interested if you ranked that episode.
So yeah,
in
before you do, I want to say, quantitatively, how many episodes have you labeled as like one of your favorites? Just a number,
He's got
just
a
a
lot.
ballpark, just a quick
Probably 85.
85.
That are good. That are like, yes, I really will say that.
Okay,
You
so I
have
want to see
85,
if your
10 out of 10.
I want to see if your episode
Oh, good.
Falls in
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All
it
right.
falls into his 85, which I was hoping was a lower number, but okay.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
go with
funny because there was
85.
a lot of episodes that Carla was saying. I was like, yes, but I don't want to talk about it, just because it's a good episode. But now I'm gonna have
Yeah.
200 episodes that I really like.
Jesus.
One of the ones that immediately comes to mind, we talk about butter-centric episodes, is, and you'll know the actual name probably because apparently Billy is a catalog. If you just
Right
if you just
here.
give
Right
like
here.
the synopsis,
Right here.
he knows the episode
Catalog in
name.
his brain.
When Butters becomes a pimp.
Yes, Butter's
Oh, yeah.
bottom bitch.
Yeah. Oh, that's the name of it.
That's the number. Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't have thought they would be that, but
Forward? Yeah,
yeah.
apparently so.
Yes.
Did that make the 85?
It was up there. Yeah,
Oh.
that's a good one, but just because of how innocent Butters is.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, oh, we're just going for a kiss, and then it's like, oh.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's in your 85. What
Ooh,
about the...
drop 'em one.
Huh?
Yeah, we're just gonna drop some
I'm gonna drop
episodes so
some.
they go in your
Yeah,
85.
what about-
See if I know the synopsis. How about that?
You do, but I'll just throw another Butters out there where he dies. Doesn't die, but he dies.
Oh, you mean like
They
when
have
they
the
pretend?
shit.
So that's I believe it's Margarine when they
Yeah,
when they
and
make
then
him
like,
into a girl
and then
they
like
make him jump.
the dude from Pet Cemetery rolls up at Stotch's dad.
Yeah.
It's like, Stotch, you don't want to go down there.
You don't want to go down that route.
You don't want to do that route, Stotch.
That is better.
Is that on there?
I'm sorry.
Is that on your
No.
list?
It
No,
is.
your
Yeah.
85? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Throw us one from your 85.
I'm sorry.
What about the Prius one?
Oh, that's a good one.
It is. Yes.
Ding.
When they move out to San Francisco. Smug alert.
Oh, this better be in your 85. If this better be in your 10. This is how much I think this episode is a top 10 episode. Internet, when the internet goes out.
Overlogging. Fantastic episode.
Okay. Would it have
100%.
been in your 10?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I love that episode just because of just how.
I'm going California
Because
way.
one that the town
California
always
way.
falls apart over everything.
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
crazy happens. But the fact that Randy can't deal without emailing and he
And
brings
porn.
everybody out to California.
You
for
guys
it.
thoughts on Mr. Jefferson?
That episode, I like
Mr. Jefferson.
the songs were funny.
Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, come and ride on my magic choo-choo train. Hanyawa.
Billy, you know these things. Nice.
So
Would that have been your
A
85?
later one.
No, not really.
There's a later one that I
Oh.
don't know if it falls in your list, but I thought I liked was the gluten-free one.
gluten-free Ebola? Nah. It was up there, but it's when their penises fly off.
Yes.
Right?
That's why I enjoyed it. I love watching penises fly off.
Ooh. All right, I've got a question for you, Billy. I want to know your favorite episode. All right. I want to hear your favorites, but here's what I want to do. I'm going to say a character's name, and I want to know your favorite episode where they are the...
Centric.
Yeah. If I
Or-
said Butters, your favorite Butters episode would be...
Okay.
Well, I know. Yeah, that's a good idea. I just want to know, for my own sake,
Okay.
what's the one where Kenny's dad has to shit and throw up in a can the whole episode?
That's when Kenny's mom is trying to have.
And then she ends up having a kid, and
having
it's a new
kid.
Kenny.
And it's a new Kenny, yes. And Kenny ends up throwing baseballs at his dad in the crotch. But he
'Cause
also
you're-
tries to have it.
That's right.
let
She's
his mom
pregnant
have
because he's like he doesn't want to have a brother or a
yeah,
sister.
he brings her on a roller coaster so that
Yeah.
she can have
And
a
then
miscarriage.
Yeah, and
That's
then
it.
ends up he dies, and then she ends up having the kid, and it's Kenny. I'm gonna name him Kenny.
And I think it's like, man, this must have been like the 50th time this happened. And she goes 52nd, and it just happened.
Yeah. This isn't... This is the first episode I've heard him mention that you haven't been able to give us
Yeah,
the name.
I can't. I'm
Oh,
trying to recall
you
the
stumped
name of
him.
it.
Stump.
I know of it.
Stump the.
Stump the chump.
Yeah, but Billy.
But, yeah.
Stump the bum.
Stump the dumb.
Not stump the chump. You're not chump.
Thank you.
You know what I mean.
What was that? Stump the Schwab. Do you remember that ESPN show?
Oh,
The
yeah.
big fat nerd dude, and they're like, he was like a genius
Yeah,
with sports knowledge, and then they'd come in and try and stump him.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
What was that? Stump Schwab or something
I
like
don't know.
that?
It was something like that.
They would have like this guy, and he was like a sports trivia wizard, and they would just go against him and try and beat him.
Okay.
It was on ESPN, I think,
Yeah.
for some reason. You know, when they actually had like shows besides Sports Center every day, all day, not showing any real sports.
Faux show.
For show, anyway. Billy,
Anyway.
bring it down, break it down.
Here's the first character I'm gonna give you.
Give
This is
him
my
give him
personal.
some crazy.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to give
Give
him
him
my
curvy.
personal favorite
Okay.
character. I want to know your favorite Kyle episode.
Kyle's your favorite.
Yeah, he's like the Michael Bluth, kind of like the straight man. Him and Stan are more of like the kind of just. Aren't they the ones that they feel represents them more?
Yeah.
I feel like
Cartman's just a loose cannon.
Yeah, yeah.
They've even said that Cartman just comes off, like some of the stuff is off the cuff, the things he says when
Yeah.
they record it.
Well, it was funny because you didn't really mention it, but when that documentary, and they're talking to each other, and then you just slip into the voices like nothing. Home dude will just be like, turn into Cartman.
Yep.
And the other guy turns into Butters, and they're like, we just made a scene. And they walk out and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Quick side fact, real quick. The Trey Parker's daughter voices Ike.
Oh, that
So
makes
you
sense.
hear him
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
like, you fat
Okay,
bitch,
so-
and that's
Yeah.
his little girl.
Canada on Strike is probably my favorite
For Kyle?
in general.
Oh, in general? Okay.
Is that on your list?
I'm sorry? Yes, because I love the song too. It's Canada on strike.
And then another one I would say it's up there is the Tooth Fairy.
Tooth Fairy's Tats. Great episode. Because have you ever seen that one?
My
Yeah.
bristles are. What does he say? What's the song? My bristles are long. I am a toothbrush. My bristles are long.
Well, no, you're thinking of a different one. You're
Tooth
thinking
decay.
That's Tooth Decay. That's not the Tooth Fairy one though.
I'm thinking about tooth decay.
Okay.
That's
Tooth Fairy's Tats is an earlier episode.
Is tooth decay on there?
I'm sorry.
Is tooth decay on your list?
It's up there. Yeah, I wouldn't say
Somewhere
it's
on
my
that
favorite.
list.
All right, now what's that song? Go.
Yeah.
What's that one?
Tooth decay.
Let's see.
Oh, stumped him. Stumped him again. Look at me.
I can't recall the actual song. No,
Oh,
not off the cuff. But
Anyway,
Yeah.
so your Kyle episode.
your favorite Kyle
I would
episode.
say
My
it's
personal favorite character.
when he's upset that he can't celebrate Christmas and he sings.
you
I'm a Jew on Christmas.
I will
Hilarious.
say every episode we've mentioned so far, you have harkened back to a song. So you're a fan of the South Park
I do
song.
love the songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a favorite Kyle episode, it was the one where he had reconstructive surgery on his knees so he could jump higher in basketball.
That is a good one. Yep. And that's when Mr. Garrison becomes a girl. Because
That's the first
because
episode
that's
you-
when he learns.
Ah.
That's when he's like, oh, I can be something else. And then Kyle's dad becomes a manatee.
Dope.
Yeah, and then his knees explode.
His
'cause they're
knees
like
explode because he has
testicles.
Mr. Garrison
Yeah.
balls in his knee.
And that was how that. Another good one. I don't know if I would say Kyle's in front of, but the one with the Shamu or the
Wilsey Acts. Free Wilsey Acts.
Wilsey
Yeah.
X.
I
It's
like
a good
that.
episode,
Yeah,
dude.
well, especially because the ending when they feel
Yeah.
like they did
Yeah,
something great, and they look up.
They send him to the moon and he's just there dead.
My personal favorite Kyle is I think we talked about this yesterday, where Kyle is an allegory for Jesus and the national. I think it's the national
Margaritaville.
debt. Yeah, Margaritaville. You knew the episode.
The
Yeah.
other one with Peter the Rabbit.
So that's the Fantastic Easter special. That's in my top 10.
Oh, that's in your top
That's in
10.
my
you,
top 10.
You uncovered one of his top 10.
Yeah, where they're.
And what's the reason why is that when they're talking about the Last Supper, and it's like look, and then when we look beneath the paint, Saint Peter is a rabbit, and then they say look at the Pope's hat. It looks ridiculous on a man. It looks better for a rabbit, and it pits up and fits perfect on.
Yeah.
It's so bad, but it's so good at the same time.
That's one where they cut the chicken's head off and wherever it lands is the new.
Yes,
The
because
new
what
world
Stanley's
problem.
trying to figure out.
Oh,
what's
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what we should do now?
Yeah, I remember that now.
Bail
yeah,
out.
Yeah, bail out.
I mean,
Kyle, what about-
again,
Yeah.
it seems like, but it
Throw him
is
a
a
character.
satirical take, though. It's like, what are these people doing? Like, it's every decision is
What
made
are
differently.
your thoughts on like his name Twitch? Not Twitch.
Oh.
Tweak.
Tweak.
I felt like that was a weird period again where they tried to kill Kenny
And replace him with someone?
Oh, he was
Yeah.
the replacement friend. Tweak was.
Yeah,
they had a
yeah.
whole. They had like a Bachelor style.
Yeah,
thing
how's
for
that?
Friends.
What do you think about that one?
Tweak's a good character. I think when they added him with Craig, I like that. Like the
Craig
fight,
is cool.
the Tweak and Craig fight episode was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And then they had a love affair between Tweak and Craig. And
I don't remember
I
that.
don't remember that at all.
Oh, you
Yeah.
oh, so it's Tweak X Craig is the episode, and they actually get together. They fall in love because somebody starts drawing anime pictures of Tweak and Craig, like in the show.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
start drawing anime pictures of them kissing and stuff, and they're like, "Well, I guess we should get together," and then they become a couple.
I guess
for the
we
rest
should
of the
just
time.
do it.
Wow. Interesting.
But I do like the fact that with Tweak's character is that he's so tweaked out because he's always on coffee.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
so stressed, and his parents are so chill. They're like.
Okay,
Is that your favorite Tweak episode? Tweak X Craig?
Yeah, I would say so.
I was
Or no,
gonna-
I'm sorry, Tweak
Your
versus
favorite-
Craig.
Oh,
That's
versus
that
Craig.
one.
Okay.
It's probably easy. Well, let's go to another hard one. Stan. Ooh. Another broad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's the shit episode where everything becomes shit for him. Growing
Oh.
up, I think the name is.
Isn't it near
Growing
the
old.
I don't remember that one.
So Stanley ends up having a birthday, and out of nowhere, all the stuff he used to like starts to sound like shit. Like he's listening to music, and it just poop sounds.
yeah.
And he's like, "This sounds like shit," and his friends are like, "No, it's not.
It's good.
It sounds
Bro,
great."
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a good
It was just like-
episode. yeah.
Well, it's funny because you hear like, "We're gonna listen to some Bob Dylan," and then that sounds like shit.
Yeah.
This doesn't sound like shit.
That's a good episode.
That's your
Okay.
favorite Stan episode.
Yeah, I would
Is
say.
it?
I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm.
Well, because what's funny about it is that it starts. That's actually a small chronological one. That's
Yeah.
when they started to flutter with it, and then it becomes like the Asperger's episode, and Kyle and Cartman become best friends. So it's. I think that's a good episode just for that kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there is the hockey one. There's Stanley's
I would
Cup.
say my favorite is the hockey one.
Yeah, it is that's probably my second favorite. Stan episode.
Marsh.
Is that the one where the kids get like fucking wrecked?
Rocked by the Red
Yeah,
Wings.
they get
Yeah.
wrecked by the fucking Red Wings, dude. Hey, dude, you can play for us, kids.
Yeah.
Is that-
Let's let them. But it's just what's so bizarre because it's pretty much Mighty Ducks. Stan's
Yeah,
in
yeah,
trouble.
yeah,
Yeah, it's such
He
a
doesn't
fucking
wanna do
like
it,
this
but he-
kid. The doctor's like, I don't know what's wrong with this kid. He seems to get better when you win, and worse when you lose.
And-
Stan, you gotta win or he's gonna die.
Hi, coach. And he's like, what the fuck, man? Like, why
And
is this
then they get their
happening?
ass kicked and he just dies.
Nice.
Like, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, I guess another Stan episode is when he finds Scientology.
And R.
Randy's-
Kelly in the closet.
I'm sorry.
R. Kelly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
Stay in
trapped
the
in the
closet?
closet. So Randy's like, do you want to save up money for a new bike or do you not want to be depressed? So he
I-
takes his 200 and goes to the Scientologist.
Randy's taking a turn where he wasn't a big thing, and then he just started becoming a main character.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, like I can think of my favorite Randy episode.
Yeah.
Easily.
What's
Yeah.
that?
What's your favorite Randy?
The Little League.
I was
Oh,
gonna-
yeah.
Yep, the
Yeah.
Losing Edge. It's
Yeah.
my
Is
favorite. too.
America?
Is that in your top 10?
It
That
is,
better
yeah.
be. I was gonna say that better
Not
be
the big
top-
balls one where he's got a wheelbarrow.
That's a great one.
Medicinal fried chicken.
The one where he's
You know,
bored.
they're bouncing on the balls.
Would you say
it's a
Tegrity?
hoppity hop.
Would you say Tegrity Farms is a Randy episode?
I think it's just his storyline.
It's a story. It's
I
his
don't know.
storyline at that point.
Yeah, probably.
Because there's a couple, like one Tegrity Farms, like that part of the storyline episode
Yeah,
that's great
I thought of one.
is Banned in China when he goes to China to try to sell weed
Yeah.
and he gets on the plane and all of these celebrities who sell out to China are on. So Disney characters are on there, the NBA players are on.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
And he's like, oh, everybody's trying to get money from China.
I really weirdly liked WikiLinks
Yeah.
with Lemmy Winks.
With
Yeah.
Lemmy Wing- oh, I think
WikiLinks.
it's Bass to Mouth. That episode.
That is Bass the Mouth. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
He's like, you never go bass to mouth. You,
Has he
you
never
can go
asked-
ass to trout.
Yeah,
but not
Bass the Trout. You don't go. Yeah.
All
But
right.
that's a great episode. Because then I started calling Penny Winks. That's why I call her Penny
Oh,
Winks.
Penny Winks.
So
I do like the first Lemmy Winks episode. That's Stupid Spoiled Whore video.
You like
playlist.
that one over this one?
I'm saying for Lemmy Winks like that because it's
I like the fight at the end.
yeah.
So 10. Let's go 10. Let's count down.
Yeah, let's see your 10.
Yeah,
Do you
we're
have
going
your
to 10. I know
already?
you got 85, but let's go with 10, huh?
Let's see.
You don't want to go with 10?
We can
With
do
80?
5. Yeah.
You want to do 85? There was
Yeah,
another.
we'll do 5. How about
We'll
that?
do-
There was
He knows
another
it's fine.
episode I could not think of, so I just want to see if you jog my memory with your 5.
Okay. I would say number 5 is Red Badge of Gayness. That's when Cartman becomes General Lee, and they're doing the old Civil War reenactment, and
Never
Cartman
seen it.
takes over the country.
What season would that have been?
That was season 3. So it's a
3.
yeah.
That's his 5th pick is an
It's from
early
the
season.
early-
pick.
They should have just stopped after 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah,
I never
that's
saw.
such a great episode because, like I said, they almost because it all goes off of a bet. He's like, oh, because Cartman wants to win, and he thinks being part of the South is going to win, and then he ends up taking over the entire country up to the president. And
Yeah. I'm interested because like when I think of the early seasons, it was definitely more potty humor. It felt
Yeah,
like.
yeah. This was
Like over the top with that, like instead of pushing the boundaries,
Lowbrow.
of, like, yeah. It was
Extremely
a more
low-
lowbrow.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's just
that's my
my
that's
take.
my observation.
that's my observation
Yeah.
about. I'm surprised the season 3 pick is. But if this is your favorite show, I hope to see a variety of seasons.
A variety of episodes.
Yeah, a variety of episodes being being like represented.
I would
Alright.
say number 4 is informative murder porn.
Informative murder porn.
That's the
Please.
cable company episode where
Cable guy.
Cable guy.
Cable guy.
so that's where
David.
the boys are tired of their parents watching the Discovery shows about like families like killing each other, and they think it's like, oh, it's sexy, they love it, that's how they get their rocks off, so they ban it, and then the parents go to the cable company and say, you can't ban this, and it actually starts it kind of proves like every time you go to the cable company, right, and you say, hey, my bill's too high, and they go, oh, maybe you should go to another company. Oh, sorry, we're the only company in town. But they pull open their shirts and start rubbing. I'm so sorry. That's
I remember a scene when you described the rubbing of the nipples. I
Yeah.
feel like I remember a scene being
Where's the one
posted.
with the BP? He's like, we're sorry.
We're sorry.
We're really sorry.
oh yeah.
We're
So that's the
really
oil spill episode. And he's like,
We're
he's
sorry.
sitting on a bear carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry.
So sorry. Really, really sorry.
That was 4.
My third one is Make Love, Not Warcraft.
Oh,
That's one I
wow.
could watch
yeah.
over and over again.
We
And
talked
over.
about that. Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins.
I just
Just throwing it out there.
But is that an early season one? Because that's also one
I
that
think that was
prompts.
like
Season 10.
10.
But like that features a scene where poop is prominent.
Because they poop in a bucket or whatever.
Yeah.
Mom comes down.
She like sprays. But that's a great episode.
Yep.
It also made for a great meme, like that. The other guy on the other
Oh
side.
yeah,
Like
It
that's
did
all.
both of me.
Yeah.
That's a very
So
guy kicking my ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Madden. It's this guy.
Yeah.
So number 2 would be overlogging. We talked about
Oh, okay.
earlier.
We did talk about that. Yeah.
So that was in the top 10.
Heading out California way. Brazilian fart porn. Is that what it was?
That's
Yeah.
It
Was
was
it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Kyle that unplugged the router?
Yes.
Okay.
Kyle goes, wait a minute.
Kyle specific episode.
He gets,
Yeah.
he gets picked up and he's sitting there with everybody from World
Yeah.
League, whatever, and
Yeah.
and he just unplugs the big plug and puts it right back in. I've got internet. Me
Turn it off
too.
and on again.
Yeah.
There you go. Little IT crowd for you.
Nice.
Saves the day.
Yeah.
So
Number
we're up
one.
to number 1 now, right?
Number
Wow,
one.
number
This is his number,
one.
and this is your favorite show,
Favorite
favorite comedy
top.
show. Excuse me.
Yes.
Top episode.
So this episode is one that I've seen tons of times.
Yeah.
I
You
can't,
discuss it with
Can't
yourself.
even put a number down.
You're like, oh my god. I've
Is it
seen
a comfort episode?
Yes, it's
Okay.
one that like I could put on. Like I said, anytime. I could
Yeah,
be
yeah.
mad, upset. I could be happy. I'll put it on. I'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay.
And tell me, it's from season. Where is it?
You say 1.
Season 5.
5.
Season 5.
That's still early.
And
I
it's-
have a guess.
Okay.
Let's,
I have a
From
guess.
5?
I know your favorite character is Cartman,
Mhm.
right? I don't know if this season is too late for this, but when Cartman, his bully, when he kills his parents, got Peterman?
Scott Tenorman Must Die.
Tenorman Must Die.
That
Yeah,
is a
Chili.
fantastic episode, but that's in the top 10. That's not.
Radiohead's there.
Yeah. Why is
Not
this
playing
kid
high, they're not playing high and
baby.
dry.
Yeah.
Tell you that much.
Let me
Do
lick
you
your
like it,
scalp.
Scott?
Yeah.
Do you like it, Scott?
That's my
salty.
guess for
Your
what
tears are salty.
your number one. But is it too? Am I way off base? Is it
No.
too early a season?
No, not at all. Because Scott, I'm pretty sure that's in the same season.
Okay.
That
Okay.
actually
Cool.
happened before this
But I was
episode.
wrong.
You
But
were
I-
wrong.
that's
Close,
Do
but
you have
no
a guess?
cigar.
I will say you're halfway right, though. It is a Cartman episode.
Okay.
I don't know.
From season 5.
Season 5 is very early. I do not know.
So other episodes from there is
Oh, he's gonna let us astray.
Oh.
The Entity. These are like what is that called? Like special recognition, or like if it's in the. Trying to think.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mentions.
The Entity is in that season, and
Okay.
that's where Kyle's cousin Kyle gets introduced,
Kyle's cousin Kyle.
and he's a real like Jewish stereotype because his mom is sick. And
Yeah,
he comes
yeah.
to live with them, and that's he's like, he's got this really crazy accent.
Yeah.
So I can't eat beef because it gives me gas. But the number one episode for me is Cartman Land.
Cartman Land.
Cartman Land. And that's when Cartman inherits all this money from his grandmother unexpectedly, and he goes and buys a theme park for himself so that he can ride all the rides because he hates all the lines, all the people. He rides his own.
Yeah.
It's my favorite episode. Just because, like, I'll be in a theme park and I'm like, oh,
If I could, I would have.
rides.
I would have bought this. I would have Cartman Land you.
And it's funny because there's tons. Like I said, I have 85 episodes that I will laugh. Or there's some episodes that even Carly was talking about. It's like that's a good episode, but it's not up there.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cartman
Cartman Land, 100%.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm not remembering a single scene from that.
Cartman Land? No.
No?
No.
Oh my goodness.
And I feel like I knew, like I'm picturing. I didn't remember his cousin's name was Kyle, but now I remember Kyle.
So Kyle ends up having a hemorrhoid during that time because of Cartman.
He's sick.
He loses his faith in God because of Cartman getting all this money. He doesn't
Yeah,
deserve it. So Cartman ends up doing a commercial, and it's a commercial for Cartman Land.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
said, try out this brand new water slide, and then ride this roller coaster. And we have all these funds in the Pacific Northwest. All this fun.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the best part about it is you can't come. That's right. You can't come to my theme park. And he's like, yeah, so come on down to Cartman Land, but don't plan on getting past the parking lot because you can't get in.
So go fuck yourself.
Bet.
Do you remember? So you mentioned the what did you call it? Continuation episodes or
Like a chronological
Chronological.
episode.
Yeah.
I remember the Wii one, Nintendo Wii.
Yes, that's
And I thought that was a pretty good. Where he was like waiting to go get the Wii.
it's
And-
something.
And he like went through time.
Yeah,
and they
so
end up in a
I'm
planet
trying to
with, like-
remember the name of it, but yeah, so he ends up freezing himself. Butters actually helps him freeze himself
So he can wait until it releases.
because he can't stand
Oh,
to wait for the Nintendo Wii.
I got one.
Yeah. Go for
The
it.
metrosexual one,
That's a good one.
where they all go
Yeah.
metrosexual. That's
yeah,
a great
okay.
episode.
I just remember the one I
South
wanted to
Park
mention.
is gay. I think it's.
that's what it is? Okay.
I remember the one I wanted to mention. It was the one where they became detectives, and the cop
Little
was
Crime
undercover.
Stoppers. That is a great episode.
Yeah.
You know what
That
one
is
I'm
a great
surprised you
episode.
didn't mention?
Mm.
Like you like the one where Randy becomes like a creme fraiche.
Creme fraiche.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a good
La, la,
one.
la, fresh.
That's a funny one because producer Brand's favorite chef, Giada. She hates
That's her
him.
favorite celebrity chef.
No, she hates her.
Oh.
But not as much as Bobby Flay, I don't think. But she
She's
shows
up
up and
there.
she's got a big fucking head.
Yeah.
And she's like there with Randy. My favorite Randy episode is actually the Blockbuster one.
Yes, that's
The Shining knockoff.
Nightmare on FaceTime. It's a Halloween episode.
Oh.
Great
Where he
episode.
like owns and no one comes
So
to the shop
he
there.
ends up spending their life savings on
And
buying
it's like
Blockbuster.
The Shining.
Yeah.
He's just like
That's kind of cool.
And meanwhile, like they're on their way to Blockbuster and they're all watching stuff on Netflix on their phone.
Yeah, we can watch that during Halloween.
Yeah.
like,
That's your pick.
That's my pick. No,
We do this thing during the Halloween times where everyone gets to choose one movie. So, like, there's 4 weeks in October.
Mm-hmm.
So, producer Brandy gets to choose a movie. Zaccardo chooses a movie, I choose a movie.
Yeah.
Once a week you get to do a movie. So he just chose a 30-minute episode.
Probably 20 with no ads. No, that's a teaser. It's a warm up.
Yeah.
It's a warm up.
What's your palate?
What's your palate? What's your
What
palate?
do you think of the Casa Bonita episode?
I was gonna say I'm surprised you didn't mention that.
Mm-hmm.
I would see the news on that.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
Is that they ended up buying the rights to Casa Bonita, and they built a new Casa Bonita in Colorado.
Oh.
And it's
Trey
just
Parker
that
and
open.
Matt Stone did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or what about? Yeah, they did. That's great. Congratulations on their success in buying restaurants. I think another thing we didn't mention was the Game of Thrones episodes.
Yes. So
The
that's
Red Robin or whatever it was.
it's
the
I
Red
guess-
Robin wedding or
the Red Wedding. Yeah. So there's a couple Lord of the Rings style episodes.
that's Game of Thrones, by the way.
I'm sorry.
The Red Robin's Game
No,
of
no,
Thrones.
I know. So what happens is
Okay,
they
I
end up
was like-
wearing they wear the same.
I'm not trying to piss off a lot of
outfits.
people out there.
Yeah.
Tell me confusing Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. They're like,
it's
what the
funny 'cause
fuck?
I was actually talking to Carl about this too. Is that I the chronological episodes, that series when the Red Wedding and the Red Robin, that's one of my favorite chronological episodes.
Oh.
Like series,
You cracked his
I guess.
85.
The Black Friday.
Yeah, Black
It's
Friday.
coming
Oh,
up.
that is the.
And like that's another one where Randy's
He
like
pulls
he's
off the
a
scar.
mall, he's the mall security guy and he's like you gotta get ready for
Because
this.
Randy comes up with the most genius plan to
Yeah.
be the mall security officer on Black Friday,
So
he
you can
gets
get in and
mall
get the
first.
deal.
Ah.
Yeah,
That is genius.
it's pretty genius.
But the boys all dress up the same as
Yeah.
they do in the Lord of the Rings episode, which
Okay.
is funny. I never watched Lord of the Rings until after I saw the Lord of the Rings episode of South Park.
That was like man, was that PS3? Because that was the whole point, right? One was Sony, one was Microsoft.
Yes, they were
one was
going over
Xbox,
Xbox or not.
one was
They-
PlayStation. That was the factions. Of,
Oh, yeah.
the houses fighting.
Yep.
And then like Kenny was like the princess.
Yep, because they didn't want Kenny. Cartman didn't want Kenny to be a princess, and he's like, "I am going to be a princess." So they ended up splitting factions, and they end up fighting on Black Friday.
The Red Robin.
Yep, they betraying in the garden and all that. That's we
That's
all want
pretty good.
Xboxes.
Pretty good episode.
It's a pretty good episode, actually.
Pretty good
Think
episode.
about that, yeah.
All right.
Well, the first one where they're all dressed up, the Lord of the Rings episode.
Yeah,
That's the where they accidentally have the porno tape and they have to return it to the movie store. And Butters ends up watching the porno and thinking that's
Nice.
Lord of the Rings. They're like,
Oh,
do you
yeah,
mind if I
yeah,
play
yeah.
Lord of the Rings? And he starts humping him.
Yes.
And he starts humping Kyle. Do you remember the porno name? Do you remember what the
Yes.
name is?
I remember. No, I don't remember.
So it was Backdoor Sluts 9.
Oh,
in the episode.
yeah. Oh, because there's that yeah. Like it's not as good as Backdoor Sluts
8 or something.
8. Yeah.
You mentioned episode Raisins.
Oh yeah. That's a great episode.
Great episode.
Let's
Is
do
that-
another. Let's do another.
Is that also the goth? Like where the goth kid's the one he talks to at the end, where he's like depressed, and they're like,
Probably.
and he's like,
No,
feel
so
like
that's when Stan and Wendy break up.
so it was Stan that talked
Yeah.
to the goth kids,
Yes.
not Butters. For some reason,
Because
I'm
Butters does.
there's,
Butters does come up to Stan and say, it's quit
There's
being
the
a little
mascot.
bitch.
There's always the mascot, like giant douche, and
Douche and a turd,
turd sandwich.
yeah.
Which
But-
that's where like the more satirical stuff kind of kicks in. Like you know,
Yeah.
hey, if you're going to vote, you're going to be voting for two shitty people anyway.
So let's do another character.
Okay.
Billy's favorite episode of character.
Okay.
If you're down.
Sure.
I'm thinking. What about Jimbo?
Oh.
Jimbo is actually an early season, and I
Damn.
remember talking about
Quick. I was
It's
trying to
a
go-
long one. It's season 2, episode 6, the Mexican staring frog of southern Sri Lanka, and that's
Sri
where-
Lanka. Where's
Yeah.
that?
I don't know.
Sri Lanka.
But they end up going hunting, and
It's pronounced Sri Lanka, Bryce.
is it Sri Lanka? I don't know.
A lot of things, more things to worry about than Sri Lanka.
Oh, I thought the name was a reference to Siri.
Oh, it could be actually.
Yeah.
How's
No,
it-
I don't know.
How's it spelled?
SRI.
Oh, then Shri. It was supposed to be Sri
Shri.
Lanka.
Sorry, my
Yeah, no,
apologies.
you're good.
We gave you some.
But in that
benefit there.
episode, that's where they go hunting with Jimbo,
Yeah.
and
Was that the one where they're like peeping?
no,
the
not
the
that
Jimbo
one.
episode I'm thinking of is like him like peeping with the is Jimbo's the bigger one.
Yeah, with Ned.
With
Ned is the
Ned's one,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's actually funny. He's like, wait, let me see. Oh man, look, she got the puppies.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Jimbo
Let me
is
see.
Kyle's uncle or something.
I'm sorry.
Is he Kyle's uncle?
Stan's Uncle Jimbo.
Stan's uncle.
Yeah.
Stan's uncle.
Randy's
Classic.
brother?
I
Or
think it's Sharon's brother.
Classic.
But
Let's talk about some more Randy episodes.
Yeah, Randy's got some solid episodes.
Yeah.
so we talked about the losing edge, the baseball one.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
I'm Bat Dad.
Bat.
Dad.
I'm Batman.
We got another one.
This is America.
I didn't hear no
They're trying to
bell.
lose. We don't want to play anymore.
Oh well, how about we were kind of talking about some secondary characters that we're not,
Sure,
very
sure,
happy with.
sure.
So like Carly, she doesn't like Mr. Hanky. What do we
I
thought
agree.
about Mr. Hanky.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's weird.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the toilet humor to me.
Yeah. Speaking of toilet, though, what was the one? Was it Craig's mom that fell in the toilet and
Yes,
died?
that's a great episode too.
Because the lead
So
was
she-
because the seat was
because-
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I told you to keep the seat down, and now he has to watch his mom die because he didn't put. And
Yeah.
the blood is now on his penis because of it.
But yeah, Mr. Hanky's kind of lame. But I actually like him better than like Tally.
You like him
You
better
like
than
him
Tal.
better than Tally.
I hate
that's,
Tally.
That's a good take. That's an interesting take because I love Tally.
Why?
I just think he's a good secondary character.
He just. I guess I just don't like.
Did you ever see
I don't
him
like
really-
stoner humor, man. All right, everyone. So that was the first half of the South Park episode with Billington, less than Zane. I can't. What did you say, Chris? It was Billy. Oh, baby Billy.
Baby Billington.
Baby Billington.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed doing this episode with Billy. I think you're gonna see in the next episode how much more we get into like the nitty gritty.
South Park couldn't be contained to one episode.
I mean, you couldn't see it better. All right, guys. So thanks for listening again. We'll catch you next week.